Good evening, everyone. This seems more scary than the presentation to the jury, to be honest. What I'm going to show you today is basically, my practice. I graduated from architecture in Colombia back in 2006. I moved to Australia in 2009, and according to the Australian Association of Architects, I wasn't an architect, so I had to do a master's again. And because of that and how things work out, when I did my thesis, as most of you probably already know, I did Flinders, and that finished in the competition, basically. We got shortlisted on the first stage, something that was pretty weird. And then after the second stage, we got the People's Choice. The thing is, it's funny because during that process, they always make this name of us, of being the students from Melbourne University, and actually we finished architecture a long time ago. In fact, we've been in practice since 2006. We've been doing competitions since then, and actually we already built projects. But it was good to have that kind of situation because actually it worked pretty well for us at the end. They say that we were the underdogs and things like that, and that was actually good. So basically what I'm going to show you today is competitions. I've been involved in several competitions. Here in Australia, I've been in 2 competitions. I've been in another one in Wales. And in Colombia, I've been in some of them, in probably 3 or 4 competitions as well. As any competitions, as you can imagine, you win sometimes and you lose sometimes. And I'm going to show you like those kind of things. So the first one, this is the moment that when we submit Flinders actually. And this is the private picture, we can say, and the reality is, I love competitions. I think competitions are the best way to put your word out there and your work as well. Competitions are probably the only platform that you, as a graduate or a very young architect, if you want to take it in that way, gives you the chance to put your work against big firms in an anonymous way, and trying to give part of what you think is best for a place, regardless if you win or not. You are part of that discussion of what can happen with a city or what can happen with a place. When you're working in an office, usually the office has its own language and its own stuff, and it's very difficult to give your own ideas for this. Competitions actually gives you that chance, and that's why I'm involved in these kind of things. So Flinders basically was trying to put our ideas towards what we thought it needs to happen in this place. And the positive thing is that people actually receive it pretty well. There's a joke inside of us saying that a lot of votes came from Colombia, but actually it wasn't that many, and we don't have that many friends to win a competition in the sense of the People's Choice. And it's because because the difference between us and the second one, that it wasn't even Herzog, it was like 40,000 points and something like that, 40,000 votes. And the reality is to achieve something like that is not because a lot of Colombians vote for us, it's because, and it's not only because we were the underdogs, it's because actually people embrace what we're trying to propose in this place. So Flinders is basically the result of the research on the thesis and trying to understand what were the needs actually for the place, and going a little bit further of the situation of just solving a transportation issue that at the moment Flinders have, and it's going a little bit further of that border that the competition was putting out there, that it was just the side from Banana Alley to St. Kilda Road. It was trying to go a little bit further and trying to make an urban intervention. So yeah, probably most of you already know this kind of images, and what we were trying to do to protect the heritage building and to generate this new public space. And the basic idea was always generate this a courtyard within a station. That it was always the name of the thesis, and it was the name as well of the competition, that it was about bringing natural light, natural ventilation, and a new landscape and environment for the station, and trying to recover that history for the place. During that time, the second stage was very long, and you get bored of doing the same thing all the time. So we decided to do another competition in that moment. And we did one that is called the World Stage Design Competition in Cardiff. And we got shortlisted for this one as well, but we didn't got it. And it's basically an stage that is going to be built for just 1 month in Cardiff. And the idea was trying to use sustainable elements, just resources that it was taken from the site, use it for 1 month, and then take it away. And we got certain people, local people, that were working with Apple industry and pallets and a lot of elements that could help us to develop this kind of concept. And it was about involving all these people and how to make the competition and how to use one element, one module, and generate this project and generate different situations. At the end, we didn't win, so it's the second time that this happened. And yeah, the idea was always to generate this project that it was going to be just for 1 month and that's it. Then after Flinders, we decided to do the Royal Adelaide Hospital competition, and in that moment after we finished the competition is when I found out that I was completely exhausted. So I just needed a break. And after that I've been very quiet, just teaching at uni with Angelica that is going to come here in 1 sec. This competition actually I did with Angelica and I did with her partner, with Marco, that is here as well. And Manuel was involved in this competition, and the idea with this one was trying to protect the heritage buildings that were existing in the site, and at the same time, because the site is surrounded by the botanical gardens, and when you think about Adelaide, you think about all these green areas that they have. We thought that it was a little bit redundant to do another green area for a place that probably have more like a civic area with museums and things like that could provide in this case. And that was basically what we did. Getting a little bit of green areas as well, but it was mostly about generating these buildings and these spaces that were more like for a civic use. We didn't go shortlisted or anything like that, but it was a great experience, especially because the competition itself, we did it in a week and a half, and that's when we found out that, we were exhausted and we couldn't go anymore. These are some images, and these are more successful ones. This was in Colombia, back in Colombia. The name that you see down there, Opus, is the office where I used to work before I came to Australia in 2009. I developed a few competitions with them, some of public space, some of for university buildings, private buildings, and these ones are successful cases actually. So the first one is San Nicolas Square. It's in the north part of Colombia. And this area is actually, it's in front of a cathedral in this city, and it's where the slums used to be in this city. If you imagine in that area there, usually you can find prostitutes, they sell weapons, things like that, and it's how to regenerate this area. So the competition basically, as you can see at the top, is the existing area, and the one at the bottom is what we were proposing there, that it was a new public space, something that responded more to the cathedral, and something that was more related to history of the site. And this was the render of the competition, trying to extend that relationship with the cathedral with the public space that we were doing it. And this is the final result. The project was built in 2010, between 2010 and 2011. When I left Colombia, I lived basically the drawings done. So I haven't been in this project actually built. I just got these pictures from the office where I used to work. But it's great to see that something that started a competition actually gets to that place and gives you that point of view and that voice to say what can happen with this place. This was part of the competition as well. As you can see at the top, there are some diagrams of what we're proposing for these roofs, and this is how it ended. The next one is one in the city where I came from, that is Freedom Square in Medellin, and that's the scheme of the competition, another one, and this is basically what happened. This project here with a public area as well, office building, and the philosophy has been always about being sustainable, so generate elements that were possible to repeat, recycle concrete, things like that. So this was the project. And finally, this is another university, another competition. This was, for example, one of the boards of the competition. And it's trying to generate, again, a building, a public space in this case, for the university. And this is the building that was actually given back to the university a month ago. It was finished a month ago. I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully next year, I think I'm going to Colombia, I'm going to be able to see it. But yeah, the experience of the building is always natural light, natural ventilation, things like that. And yeah, there's a beautiful panoramic from there, and that's it.